All rise. Judge Vanderbeek Court now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB 1001, Cooper versus Johnson.
Thank you. You all may be seated. Okay, Mr. Cooper, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Today's courtroom drama is nothing short of intense. A determined grandmother has stepped into the legal ring, battling for custody of her granddaughter and seeking unpaid child support from the girl's father. It's an emotional showdown where family ties and legal lines collide. Judge Bundy is at the helm, carefully weighing each piece of the puzzle. The grandmother says she took over when the father stepped out, providing care and stability when it was needed most. Now, she's asking the court to officially name her the child's guardian. But there's a twist. Legally, the father isn't bound to the grandmother in any way, and that makes things complicated. This case isn't just about who's loved and raised the child. It's about what the law says, and whether a grandparent can step ahead of a biological parent's right. So, the big question is, can heart and history outweigh legal standing? Let's break it all down as this emotional case unfolds. Voice 1. The grandmother doesn't hold back.
Yes, Your Honor. I brought this case to court because I'd like to put myself on child support. I'd like to see my kids more often.
So you're putting yourself on child support to see your kids more often?
Yes, Amanda Johnson, my ex, has made it difficult lately for me to see my kids. I thought that if I was on child support, it might be easier to have some kind of scheduled time that I can actually see my children.
Okay, when you say she's been making it difficult lately, what types of things has she been doing?
She's been rescheduling when I come to pick them up. She's said that she's too busy and that I can't hang out with them on the weekends. She's just generally made it tough for me to see my kids.
The grandmother lays it all out, her story marked by heartbreak and resilience. She describes her fight through lymphoma, the pain she endured, and how, during that time, the child's father walked away. In her eyes, he gave up, and she stepped in. Now, she's not only asking for full custody, but also wants him to pay back child support, claiming he stopped contributing after her daughter passed away. But there's a legal snag. Support payments were intended for the child's mother, not for the grandmother. And with the mother no longer here, Judge Bundy quickly identifies the flaw in that argument. The grandmother doesn't stop there. She takes aim at the father's lifestyle, accusing him of spending too many nights out and relying on an ever-changing list of babysitters. But without solid proof, her concerns remain just that, claims without confirmation. Judge Bundy isn't letting anything slide. Every statement is being tested, every accusation dissected. This custody fight is layered, emotional, and anything but simple. Voice 2. Now it's the father's turn to speak.
Why have you made it tough for him to see his kids?
Your Honor, my ex-boyfriend has a new girlfriend and I do not like her. I do not like her being around my children. I think she's a terrible influence on my kids. And I know that if I give them more time with him, it's going to be with him and her. And I do not approve of that whatsoever.
Okay. So you're mad because he doesn't want to be with you and moved on? That's what you're saying?
No, I'm mad because he has only been dating this woman for 3 months. Now suddenly they're engaged. I think she's a terrible person and I don't want my children to be around her. This is about the well-being of my children.
This is about the well-being of your children, but you don't like her? Do you even know her?
I have met her one time.
It's a yes or a no. Have you even met her before?
Technically, yes. I have met her before.
Okay, so you met her one time.
I know people who are friends with her. I've seen her.
You know,
on
I'm not
social
going to do
media.
this tap dancing back and forth with you. You're going to answer my question when it's very direct. So you've met her one time.
Yes, ma'am.
And based on that one time of meeting her, you believe she's a bad influence on your children?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that today.
The father steps up with his side of the story, setting the record straight. He clarifies the timeline. His marriage ended before his ex-wife's cancer diagnosis. So no, he says, he didn't abandon her during her illness. Their separation had already happened, and that changes the emotional weight behind the grandmother's claims. On the child support issue, he's just as direct. He confirms he fulfilled his obligations while his ex-wife was alive. But once she passed, those payments legally came to an end. He's not dodging responsibility. He's following the law. And Judge Bundy appears to agree. Then come the lifestyle accusations. The grandmother painted a picture of late nights and too many babysitters, but the father challenges that. How would she know what he's doing if she's not there? Without evidence, it's just courtroom noise. In this court, evidence is everything. Assumptions won't win custody. The father's defense is holding up well, and Judge Bundy is clearly paying close attention.
He should not have to come to court to place himself on child support in order to see his kids, especially when it's for a reason that has nothing to do with them. He's in a new relationship. Obviously, you're mad, and you're just mad because he is in that new relationship, not with you. And because you're mad, you're trying to hold it against him with his kids.
Oh, no, that has nothing to do with it.
That's not how it works. Well, that's exactly what it sounds like. I mean, that's what it sounds like, right?
That's what it sounds like, Your Honor. Yep.
I don't want to be with him at all.
No, you don't want him back. You just don't want him to be with anyone else.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's what it is. I mean, that's what it sounds like. And you can roll your eyes and everything. You know, that doesn't bother me one bit because I can do it too. So, we're going to go ahead and start child support today. You are going to allow him to see the children. It's not a what if, I don't like her, she's a bad influence. It has nothing to do with that. You're going to allow him to see his children. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. And you understand that you're going to be paying child support, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, how much money do you make a year?
$48,000.
$48,000. And how old are the children?
12 and 14.
12 and 14. And who covers health insurance for the children?
We have Medicaid, Your Honor.
Okay, okay. So just so you all are aware, Medicaid is not health insurance. It's a benefit provided through the state, you know, to assist with the children going to the doctor and the hospital if needed or anything like that. So that, because it is from a state agency, you are going to have to pay it back to them, okay?
Okay.
And it's going to be included in your monthly obligation for child support. You understand?
Okay.
Okay. So I have your gross at $4,000 a month, which brings your net to $3,050.01. So your child support obligation is $762.50. In addition to the Medicaid. So what happens is I have to take 9% of your gross, and that's the amount that you would pay back for Medicaid. That's what the law says has to be.
When it comes to child support, the judge makes it crystal clear. With the mother no longer living, there's no legal party to receive payments. So that part of the grandmother's argument is officially dismissed. Then comes the heart of the case, custody. The grandmother makes a final push to be named the child's primary guardian. But the judge doesn't budge. The father is alive, and unless there's clear proof he's unfit, the law grants him the right to custody. Judge Bundy leaves the door open, but only slightly. She states that if credible evidence of neglect or harm ever surfaces, the situation could change. But as it stands, the grandmother's concerns remain unproven. And with that, the gavel comes down. The case is closed.
So 9% of $4,000 gives me $360. So when you add the two together, comes out to $1,122.50 a month. Now, if you were to enroll the children into private health insurance, which I'm sure you can find something a lot cheaper than $360, your child support amount would go down.
Okay.
Okay, so you have the option to do that. If you have private insurance through your employer, or if you want to enroll the children under something outside of your employer, you can do that.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. All right. Do you all have any other questions for me?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, well, if there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, the grandmother played a meaningful role in the child's life, but that doesn't give her legal authority. Her presence, her care, even her sacrifices, while deeply respected, don't outweigh the rights of a living parent. And in this case, despite any personal shortcomings, the father remains just that, the legal parent. Unless something drastic changes, that fact holds firm. It's not up for emotional debate. It's how the system works. This case draws a sharp line between what feels right and what the law dictates. Morally, the grandmother's devotion was clear, but legally, it just wasn't enough to shift custody. In a courtroom, emotion may echo, but it's the law that has the final word.